And here we have the... Why are the zombies digging down there? I'm in the water, but they want to dig that soil. They hate it down there. Like, no, the player, tasty as he may be, soil, we're gonna dig that soil out. That shows how really weird water can cause the zombies to behave, because they really should be trying to get me, not digging, because I'm right there, right in front of you. Hello, I'm here. How weird is that? Ladies and gentlemen, and here we are back at... Where are you going? I have the AI turned off, so they shouldn't be moving, but these Hawaiian zombies, these disturbed tourists, still decide that they're going to make it all the way out to Hawaii. Maybe swim there. At least the ladies are staying put, but oh, come on, guys. I'm trying to make a video. But anyway. So this time, thank you very much, gentlemen. One is at least standing still, and the ladies are as obedient and kind as usual. Thank you for sticking with me. But anyway, we are here, Alpha 19.5, 7 days to die, as we are trying to determine the big question on your mind, which is, what distances does zombies spawn on the player in the game? And we're talking about, of course, screamers, screamer hordes, wandering hordes, and blood moon hordes. Why does this matter? Well, I'm glad you asked. Of course, it depends on how you're going to do your building, how you're going to do your base defenses. If you have a village that you're defending, they probably will be spawning within its walls. If you have a base that is quite big, the same thing, unfortunately, could be happening. And that's really, really bad. If you're having a Blood Moon Horde spawn within your walls, they won't be stopped by your walls when you're trying to defend. So this is why we're going to have a look at it. So, unfortunately, we don't always have obedient zombies that are helping me out, but at least I have some that can help me out. But so what I'm going to do here, I'm here at the coast. I've generated an 8K map, and I will be building out, I guess, a walkway, a wharf kind of thing in soil in order to enable spawning there, while also calculating the distances that they're spawning. So I'm going to put distance markers out there, and we'll see how far out the zombies are spawning. The reason I'm doing in the water is that zombies will not be spawning in the water. If I did anywhere else, I would have to start counting where they are, and which is a little bit more tedious. So this makes it a little bit more organized because I can control the variables. And they are making their way out, and yep, they will never be seen again. See ya, Hawaiians. But I'm going to be starting here, and I'm not going to do this sort of by hand. I'm going to use the level tool, and I have made a video in the past of how to enable that one, so go check in the playlist. But anyway, that allows me to basically mark out an area and fill it out with a bunch of these soil blocks. Let's see, how far out should we do? Maybe this, what about 70, 80 block, 100? Let's see, let's try something like, nope, sorry, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna, yep, let's fill that in. So this should be our wharf distance, maybe slightly further. Yeah, let's try and do it slightly further just so we have enough space to play with. So we're going to go in here to level tools, randomly decorate selection. So let me finish actually building out this long wharf, and we'll see what happens. Okay, finishing it up by painting a little bit of pink. So we have our starting here. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 meters where we have pink, and we have 100 meters, which is another pink. And this is where we are assuming that the zombies are going to spawn. I don't think they're going to be spawning beyond 110 meters. By recollection of previously, they would normally spawn 100 to 110 at the most back in Alpha 18, and I don't think that has changed. They don't want to have the spawns too far away, even for wandering hordes, which I believe was the furthest away. Reason being is that if you can't see them, what's the point of having them spawn that far away? So this should be roughly the distance that they are appearing. So we are here at the start mark, 0 meters, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to spawn in some scouts, because we need that, well, scouts and screamers, because we need that in order to, well, get our screamer hordes. Now, one of the problems that exists is that, let me do this. If I spawn in a screamer like this, it can scream, but it will not cause any zombies to actually spawn in. And that makes it a little bit more tedious. So what we first are going to have to do is that we're going to have to do is spawn scout. Scouts. Right. So now it's trying to spawn scouts somewhere out in the water. And it goes like, well, that's not going to work. And try again. Try again. Try again. And I have to do that a few times until here. There we go. Is she? Oh, let's pause her here. So now one was spawned out there. You can see it in the console that actually gave it a location instead it's moving towards me. There should be a second one. Let's see if we can get a few more so we can sort of see the distance that they're being spawned away from the player. And most of these are failing because there's water all around me and likely they cannot spawn beyond, I think there are 2 next to each other. It would take. Alright, let's try one more. Come on. Nope. It doesn't want to get more. Alright, fine. It doesn't matter. So we are over here. Let's see if we can move over here. Oh, you know, there's one over there that was outside of my visible range. So, between about, well, I would guess 70 or 75 up to probably about 100 meters is where you can expect the scouts, the screamers, to actually be spawning. They don't seem to be spawning beyond that because then they would actually be all the way out there, and I don't think that's going to happen. Another thing that you notice is I can only see one until I zoom in, and I guess that's one of the things that has been done with if you're just like this, it's really unlikely that you'll be able to tell where they are if they're too far away. It's got to do a little bit to do with render distance, stuff like that. But as I zoom in with even a regular weapon, you'll see the furthest one that is almost at 100 meters will pop back in. So they do seem to have slightly different rendering. So 70, maybe 75, 200 distance. Now I'm going to re-enable the AI here and let them walk up to me. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I want them to come up to me and scream, and then we'll see where are the actual zombies that they screamed being spawned. So let's do that. Again, this is, you see they're walking a lot faster than they normally would because otherwise it would take them so long. So I'm going to do stop, go back regular, see what happens when they scream. And there we go. All right. Okay, both of them screamed. Good. All right, any more? Come on. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can shift around a little bit here. Oh yeah, they're screaming again. Now the distance to the zombie will be from the player, it will not be from the screamer. So if I move closer when they scream, you'll see zombies even further away, which is why I'm sort of keeping myself over here. And they can only scream and call in new zombies. I think it's like 2, maybe 3 times. I guess I'm gonna have to make a video on that. Amount of times before they actually will no longer call anything in. Is that all right? I think so. Let's get rid of them. Like that. Oh, she fell straight through there. Well, that's nice. So let's see the distance here of a screamer horde. Now this one is basically at around 48 or something. So it could be 40, but more likely something like 45. And then up to 55, 60. You see all of them are clustered around here, which means you don't see anyone here, which sort of makes it seem like there's a sort of an invisible line somewhere here, and the same thing here. There's a line here. So 45 to 55, give or take, seems to be where we're getting the screamer hordes, and that's something to keep in mind when you're building your base. If you get screamers coming in, which could be at any time, and let's say you're outside of it working, they could actually spawn inside your base or on the other side of the base, and then you have some other issues with, oh, well, why did the chicken cross the wharf? Well, I guess he wanted to come over to me. He misses me. So this seems to be the distance, 45 to 55, give or take a little bit. Without examining code, it's really difficult to know exactly, but that's what it seems to be. Very well. Let's do this. Let's do kill all. And we now have all of them killed. Good, good, good. So, next thing we're going to look at is Wandering Horde. And we don't want to just sit around while Wandering Horde is appearing, because that can take some time. So we're going to do spawn Wandering Horde. Let's see, do that. And it says to wait 2 hours. Let's just bring the day forward 1. Okay, we are getting a Wandering Horde actually being spawned in. Let's freeze the AI here so they don't move around. Spawn group is done. And we're still here at the... Why are we having such a bad weather? Anyway, let's see what happens here. We do still have... Is that a rabbit? Alright. Rabbit, okay, so he's around 60, alright. 60 to maybe 100, give or take. Hard to tell. Anyway, so Wandering Horde, this one could have been a biome spawn, because normally they don't extend that far. Most likely that's a biome spawn. So Wandering Horde, we seem to be about... From about 85 likely. I don't think it's 90, because we do have one that is here. And it seems to be up to 100. So I would guess something like 80 to 100 distance for the Wandering Horde. Now, the whole reason for them being so far away is that they're intended to be spawned at... Okay, let me do this. Let's detach the camera like so. And let's re-enable AI. They're intended to spawn... Yeah, so you can see that this is definitely a biome spawn because it's not moving around. They're intended to basically spawn somewhere at the sort of the horizon and sort of wander towards the player slowly. And that's how you can differentiate them from just regular biome spawn that sort of just wander around a small area. So 80, 85 to 100 seems to be where these ones actually appear. And they don't actually always go straight, as you can tell. Some of them go slightly different direction and they can lose interest and go somewhere else. Well, I guess they don't like the rabbit. I would have thought that they would try to kill the rabbit, but I see these ones are like, no, let's go over here somewhere. So they don't necessarily go a straight line all the time. They do diverge a little bit, but that's the distance that we have for them. See, I'm just attaching the camera because, of course, I'm still here. And it's interesting. Out here is actually desert and something else, because and there's we have a regular forest here because it's desert and nice and hot. So that's why I'm just I'm not wearing a lot of clothes. And let's pause them again. Now let's kill all, because we don't need them around, and we don't actually need to be in. Oh, we don't want to see the inside of my brain either. You want to kill? I do feel a little bit bad, but no one called. Sorry, it just had to be done. Anyway, so those are done. And we're going to look now at the last. And that's the Blood Moon Horde spawn. So to do that, let's increase the brightness a little bit. Apply. Let's do that. And we are going to set time. Let's do 28 to 158. And sort of see where it ends up. And we... Oh, yep, there they are being spawned. This can be a little bit tricky when we're testing. When I've done some of the testing, it's like, no, I want to spawn over there. I want to spawn over there. And then it fails because it can't find any land. And here I saw only 3 spawn. That's no, it's another one coming in. The spawning, because I built out this wharf, can be a little bit weird. And I'm going to detach my camera again, because if I move closer, the spawns will be even further away. So we see the closest one is about 33, which makes me think that 30 is the minimum that they're going to spawn at. And you see the furthest one is almost at 50. So it's fairly likely that it's a 30 to 50 spawn. Let's do this again. Let's kill all of them like that. And the reason that it's a little bit slow is because the game might be saying, hey, let's spawn here. And then, nah, I can't. Spawn here. No, I can't. Spawn here. No, I can't. And then it goes like, oh, yeah, no. Here I can. Oh, and here I can. And no. And then suddenly it'll be like, yes, I can go here. So spawning, well, because I have such a narrow strip, can be a little bit slower than normally. Normally it's still fairly slow, but this is even slower than regular, simply because I don't have a lot of spawnable area. But you can see here, he is at 32. She is at literally at 50. So it definitely seems to be at 30 to 50. And the reason for this is comparing to the Wandering Horde, that is sort of a horizon spawn that walks towards the general area. The intent of these ones is to, well, spawn in somewhere fairly close, run up to the player, and attack. And that's why they are a lot closer now. This is something that has changed over the version. I believe if you go back to something like Alpha 15, 16, they were spawning something like 80 to 100 distance from the player, which means that you could have multiple layers of defenses that could be spread out, because they would literally be spawning somewhere over, well, here. And they would then run all the way. The problem is that that takes such a long time. So you kill a zombie, it spawns, and then it takes them, a minute or two before they actually reach you. And that causes a bit of a problem because the game can't handle that many zombies. So if you have 8 zombies and they're all spending the time running, you can imagine how boring that is, because you kill it and it's going to take you quite a while before you get to see that zombie spawn again. So they have gradually... Oh, come on, be quiet. They have gradually been shifting the spawn to closer. And again, you see 30 to, I guess, 45 here. And if I re-enable the AI, and let's kill them. Sorry. They'll be... No. I said, want to have you all die. So they've been bringing them closer. In Alpha 1780, I think they were something like 45 to 60, etc. And, or maybe it was 17? Whatever it was. And what we have right now in Alpha 19, it seems to be 30 to 50. So if your base is... Let's say you have a base that is 40 by 40, and that's the mistake that I made back in Alpha 18. Mine was literally a 40 by 40 base. So if I was standing on one corner, I would get spawned on the other sides in my plantations. And that was not really very fun, because then I have zombies that are running around inside my walls as opposed to outside. And that's something you really have to take into account when you're building the bases now. Make sure that from one end to the other end, it's less than 30, so you don't end up having issues of spawn inside. Now, there's some other ways to also restrict spawns, such as make sure you have concrete blocks or flagstone or wood or something, so you don't have soil, because they spawn on soil terrain blocks. And if it's within, like you can see, 30 to 50, that is the distance that they will be spawning from. And that's something that is really important to keep in mind. It is definitely, actually, you can actually see that as well, which is kind of interesting. It's sort of within the visible limit of where you can see, because then you get sort of the fog. I wonder if they have, they probably have actually. You can see, right? We can see up to 50, maybe up to 60. A little bit higher. 50, 60 barely. I can't really see 70s. They're probably made in such a way, actually, that sort of they come out from the fog, but they maybe they should be bringing the fog in a little bit more, so that it really, because if they're spawning here, maybe the fog should sort of start at 30, and sort of when it's 40, you can't see anything. So then it's like, from the player perspective, it's not like they're spawning within view, because that's what happens right now. If I do a kill all, and I do that, you'll literally see them spawning right before your eyes. And that's it looks a bit weird, but you can imagine if the fog was literally starting here, it would just look like they were just coming out of the fog towards you. So FunPace, maybe that's something you want to do. Bring the fog a little bit closer from where it's starting, so that it sort of looks a bit more organic and natural, that they're not spawning in, popping in right in front of you, because that's what I see right now. And instead, they are coming towards you through... Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, isn't that a beautiful view? Yeah, that they're coming towards the player from the distance where they are spawning in. And let's do that. No, come on. Oh. Ooh. Another thing that happens from the zombies, obviously because I'm in God mode, is that they can't damage me, but they can actually push me around. They can really push me around, which is really, really annoying. See the zombie guys coming up towards me here. But yeah, so this is the distances that you're going to see. The Blood Moon Horde is obviously the closest one. Oh, there are too many of them, and they'll definitely be able to sort of push me around by hitting me, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, so Blood Moon Hordes are the closest one. The Wandering Hordes are the furthest ones. Don't push me into the water, please. Oh, that looks better. Oh, much more convenient. This is a good place to be standing on the head. And the Wandering Hordes are the furthest away because they're coming sort of from the horizon. And then you have the other Screamer Hordes coming somewhere in between. And it's really interesting how I'm able to stand on top of them here, actually. I thought that they would... well, I guess they lift me up into the sky rather than drop me down into hell. But hopefully you enjoyed this little guide of the zombie spawn distances. Hope you learned something. And if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like and maybe subscribe to my channel as well to make sure you get notified. If you ring that notification bell, get notified to my next videos that I put out every week, of course. And if you have any other game mechanics, features, or guides that you want me to make, well, let me know in the comment section below. And have a good one. I'm going to have to run away here because these are definitely causing me too much problems. See you next time. See you, suckers! Oh, sorry, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the zombies, of course.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.